Morning. Ain't going to be doing a lot today. Waiting for Royal Mail to deliver the parcel that I've ordered, which is the cordless jigsaw. So, negotiate the mud. I thought all I'll do is cut the hole out when it turns up, and I'll get this panel put in. It is literally is what it is. It's just a blanking panel. I do need to clean up the sealant on it, but other than that, it's to do one job, and that is to block a hole. What are you looking at? Unfortunately, that one isn't quite big enough. In fact, the one I've made is actually a little bit too big. But that is no bad thing, because when I was pulling that out, some of the fiberglass split at the top. So what we're going to do is we'll cut some of that glass away at the top, which is where it's oversized, and we'll just screw that straight in if we can, and that hole will be covered. Unfortunately, that has been left exposed over the last couple of days of rain, heavy rain and snow, so it's extremely wet up there. But there's nothing I can do about it, and the only reason I'm covering it is because I don't want the scrap man giving me grief over that being an open hole. This is not going on eBay now. I've changed my mind on that one. I just want it gone. It's been too painful. Oh, it's hot in here. Okay, can't see nothing. Glasses are steaming up already. Okay, so I need a torch. I'm back in a minute. Right, as you can see, it is slowly drying out. The only problem is there's so much ingress in the wood that as soon as I move it away from an area that looks dry, 2 hours later the water that has sunk into the wood has now come back through. It's bled through. Like down there was perfectly dry. Well, as you can see, it's all coming back slowly, and down there as well. So we're in this for the long haul. Still not sure what's happening with this window. It's now condensated up really bad. The roof's condensated up, and believe it or not, this dehumidifier stroke air conditioner, it don't appear to be picking the water up. I mean, I drained it out this morning and I had about a cup of water. I don't know what's going on with it. I need to open the back up and see if the container might be blocked or something, because a lot of the water that was blowing out, that it was collecting, it was blowing it straight out through that top vent. So it's not doing its job. But it was a freebie, so I'm not moaning about it, because the main job that I wanted it for, it does do, which is in the summer get the temperature down in my living room so my poor dog don't suffer. And it does that, and it does it very well. But right this minute I could do with an air conditioner. A dehumidifier. And I've got another one in the shed, so I might yank that out and see if that works, and see if I can't collect the water that way. It's come cheap as cheap, really, when you think about it. But my credit is getting a little bit too high, so I've had to put interest on this, which it's the first time I've done in a long while. So this has cost me more than it's actually worth. I'm not going to say how much, but it is incredibly painful. It's charging up. You do get a battery indicator light on these as well, on the side there of the battery. So we can do a job today. Just going to get a Stanley knife. Right, where are you? Oh, muggy. So I've turned that off. I've left that alone. This was getting hot. Now I've got this little one from the shed in here. I heard the fridge part kick in. Nothing yet. I haven't got that the right way round, and I can't remember. There's two ways for that. see what that does. That picks any of the moisture up in here. I'm hoping what's happening is the heater creating the heat condensates the moisture out of the walls, and then hopefully this, if it's working correctly, will pick it up and chuck it in the pot. Last time I used it, it worked. However, it's been sitting in the shed on a shelf for over 10 years, not being used. It's a really old model. The story behind it was my uncle, who we don't really have a lot to do with because he's a little bit of a nut job, had a flood when my nana was alive. The local council brought it round to dry the atmosphere out of where he was living in a bungalow, and apparently he kept contacting them to come and get it. In the end he lost his rag. I think 2 years went by, they wouldn't come and get it. He threw it out. And me being me, I'll have that. So otherwise it would have ended up in landfill. Anyway, we'll come in for that, didn't we? I'm going to have to put this camera down. It's the best I'm going to get that. So, blanked off window will fit that. Right. Well, I ended up sealing that bugger in because it was a bit of a pain in the arse to do anyway, but it's in. It's not the tidiest looking thing in the world, I will not deny that. But it's now watertight up there, and if anyone wants to put one of those sliding glass windows in that point, they can, if it ever ends up in somebody else's possession, which I have high doubts upon. Right, I see what I'm out of breath, dehumidifier, because I've had that on. It's very, very humid in here. Instant steam up on the old glasses, so I suspect the lens will go. I had this trouble with it the last time. We turn that one off. You got to play around with these, I'm just not sure. That was on that one. Put that one back on. There's hot air coming out of that end. I can't remember what I did to get this thing to work. Because I can't see without my glasses on. Is it drying though? It is. Well, I know it is. It was misty in here earlier, so if I just leave this door open for a bit, it'll dry some of that moisture out. Soaking wet. Well, the fridge is on. I just heard that click. See. Fridge is on again. The combi, dryer, they should be on. The fan is on full blast. This should be collecting water. Why is it not collecting bloody water? The fridge has got to be knackered right there. That's the only thing I can come up with. There's cold air coming out of that. There's hot air coming out of that. Can't see that writing. What's this for then? That's for hot, isn't it? We turn that off. that's hot. I think that's cold. Yeah, it's gone cold now. Right, well I think we're going to call this video. I've gone about as far as I can go today. Tomorrow I will try and get that hatch fitted on the camper. I'm still yet to try and figure out why the dehumidifier is not picking water up. There is a possibility because I sat for such a long while that the gas has gone in the fridge unit and it's just not producing cold air. At this point I do not know what's wrong. Both of them are blowing hot air out or warmish air, so maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. Yeah, the dog going on that one. Yeah, the dog hurt himself a little while back. Cranked his paw up, this time the other leg. Something to do with a thing called ankle dysplasia or something. It could just be that he pulled a muscle on that joint, it's in the elbow, or he could have cracked the bone. We just don't know. The vets don't know. So that's where we're at with him. He has healed a lot since he did it, I will say that much. The limp that he's got now is nowhere near as bad as what it was when he first did it. In fact, when he first did it, he couldn't even walk on it. That started off with a very minor limp, and then as the day went out, he was just holding the leg up, and in the end we had to basically keep him on the bed, put stuff all over the sofas to keep him off the sofas. We think he jumped down from my armchair and twisted his leg when he landed. That's what we think he might have done. I've done some research on this, and apparently it's common in big breed puppies. As their bone structure is growing, as they are growing, it can be a case of that they're overfed, over-exercised. You know, a lot of that. I don't think it's over-exercise is his issue, but I do believe I might have overfed him. So that one's on me. I'm sad to say. So he's been put on a diet as well, because we can't have a fat dog with limbs like what he's got. So yeah. Oh dear, the stress of it all. As for the comments from the previous, so far on the previous video, thanks. What I was saying on the last video about subscribers is, I'd rather have 558 genuinely good subscribers that enjoy what I do. I'm no expert at this, I'm no expert at what I do, I'm no expert at any of it. Everything is on low budget, everything is recycled as much as I can. My English is terrible, my maths is tragic, my garden is a shithole. It's as simple as that, right? But I do try my best, and I'd rather have 558 good, solid, interested, polite, kind subscribers than 10k of chaos. Don't get me wrong, 10k subscribers would change my life completely. It would give me the ability to make money on the adverts, and I might even get it to a point where I can start buying in different things and even rent a workshop away from here and really get into some serious stuff like some of the big boys do. But I personally don't think that's ever going to happen. So I will just keep plodding on with you lovely people watching, and again, thank you for your comments on the previous video. I'm going to try the dailies and see how far I can go before I stop. It won't be long. I've just got a few jobs that I know I can get away with. I just don't like sitting up in the office room for like 6 hours at a time editing. So this shouldn't take too long to edit up. Spray it, don't say it, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, look, I'll see you tomorrow. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.